Welcome back, rebellious generals. This is the Battle of Malvern Hill in the CSA campaign on Legendary difficulty. Please be aware that Colonel, Brigadier General, and Major difficulty levels all share an AI profile. Legendary has its own profile. Generally speaking, anything that you see me do in Legendary should also work on the lower difficulty levels. However, due to the aggressiveness of the Legendary AI profile, you may find that the AI on lower levels doesn't act the same way. Time for some straight talk. At the start of this campaign, I said that I had never been past Shiloh on Legendary difficulty. Knowing that, I thought that Second Bull Run would be my first major challenge. However, Malvern Hill has been bloody. Technically, I was able to win on most attempts, but I didn't like the cost in terms of casualties and officers lost. From a survive and move on viewpoint, Malvern Hill is a bump in the road, not a roadblock. On Major General difficulty, I usually employ one of two strategies. I'll either stack most of the First Corps into the woods on the far left and fight the AI units that attempt to cross the river to engage. The downside of that strategy is that your artillery is limited on how far they can move back once the AI starts counter battery fire. Alternatively, I'll place my rifled guns on the right side with my infantry in a concave and hope the AI will come up to engage. The downside to that strategy is that the AI doesn't usually engage that much. Of course, the Second Corps travels down the right side to flank. In the past, I would take the East and West Malvern Hill VPs and then start to push north. I've noticed two main differences between Major General and Legendary difficulties at Malvern. First, on Major General, the AI army is rarely more than 5,000 troops more than my army at Malvern. On Legendary difficulty, I'm regularly facing 15,000 additional troops. Second, the high unit stats of the AI's 3-star infantry units allow them to soak up a lot more hits before they rout. This slowed my advance to the North Malvern VP, eventually forcing me to press hard at the end and piling up more casualties to my units. Pandakraut told me that Gaines's Mill and Malvern Hill on Legendary difficulty are challenging because the players' units are mostly 1-stars, while the AI army is starting to ramp up to 2 and 3 stars quickly. I concluded the following during my evaluation at Malvern. 1, I needed more 2-star rifled artillery batteries to use for counter battery and to affect AI unit morale. I had 1, and I reasoned that I need 3 or more. Number 2, I needed some of my infantry to have more accuracy perks. The majority of my army and corps commanders have an accuracy perk at Tier 1 and a melee perk at Tier 2. If I had more accuracy perks, I could rout the 3-star infantry units faster. Next, I reviewed the experience of my units in each battle after Shiloh and determined that if I made different choices and replayed Port Republic and Gaines's Mill, I could return to Malvern with those changes. So I talked to Generals Peabody and Sherman to get permission to use their Wayback Machine and travel back in time to do things a bit differently. And if you get that reference, you're at least as old as I am. I replayed Port Republic and Gaines's Mill. I fought the battles the same way that I did earlier, so there's no reason to rehash those battles, but I'll tell you what I did differently with my army configuration in camp. So in camp before Port Republic, I removed Ward as my corps commander and gave him a 12-gun ordnance battery with 150 veterans, which gave him 58 unit experience. I had a 10-gun ordnance battery that fought at Shiloh. I gave that unit to Bragg plus 2 more guns, which gave him 64 unit experience. I also spent extra veterans on Stonewall Jackson and Jubal Early's brigades. Jackson had barely made it to 2 stars previously, but Early wasn't even close. This time I wanted to ensure that they would both make it. Early's unit has 70 XP and Jackson's 76 XP. I gave French my corps for Port Republic and gave him a melee perk. Then in camp before Gaines's Mill, I decided to only take 2 corps rather than the 3. I still took 6 divisions with 4 in the First Corps and 2 in the Second. This would save me from needing an extra corps commander since I moved Ward to an artillery battery. Other than ensuring that Jackson and Early got a healthy dose of veterans, most of my army was the same as before. Ward's unit has 69 XP going into games. Bragg had 76, Early had 84, and Jackson had 88. Then coming out of Gaines's Mill, Jackson, Early, and Bragg all reached 2 stars. Ward had 98 XP, so I had to move him into a division led by a general to get him up to the 2nd star. In camp after Gaines's Mill, I have 25,773 recruits in the pool with average stats of 20. I have 1,885 veterans for redeployment with average stats of 38.4. Elder had earned his 2nd star. I am giving him a counter battery perk. Why? Because this battery will get 24-pound howitzers soon. They do plenty of canister damage, but they could use more damage in the shell range. As I said, I moved Ward under a general to give him his 2nd star. Bragg and Ward will both get the counter battery perk. Early and Jackson will get a Tier 2 accuracy perk and give me some infantry with better shooting abilities. Hill and Johnston were both promoted to Major General. I will give Hill a Tier 2 accuracy perk and Johnston a Tier 2 melee perk. For Malvern and 2nd Bull Run, I'll primarily place my accuracy units under Hill and my melee units with Johnston's corps. I feel that I'm a little behind on weapons, so I'm going to take recon up to 6 points. That will give me another 20% worth of weapons recovery, and having the balance of forces bar at the top of the screen during battles is always nice. Preston and Walsh had been wounded before Gaines's Mill, so they're healed now. A.P. Hill was awarded to me after Gaines. Breckenridge, Rhodes, Ransom, and Wilcock have been into the academy since Shiloh. I just haven't had the funds to get them on the field. So Hayes, Law, and Wright are the new historical officers who have appeared after Gaines's Mill. Gaines and Malvern are the only 2 back-to-back grand battles of the game, so we only get 1 chance to take these with rep points if we want them. So I will hire McLaws and Seams, and I'll take both of the 53 Enfield weapons caches. That will give me a 6-point penalty to morale, but my stats are high enough that I'm not really worried about it. I'm taking 39 brigades to Malvern. D.H. Hill has the 1st Corps with double accuracy perks. Beauregard has the 1st Division. Jackson has led 4 battles. His unit has double accuracy perks and 61 Springfields. Ward has led 2 battles. His unit has double rifled gun perks and ordnance rifles. Weeks has a new 12-pound howitzer battery with a horse perk. Mendenhall has led 3 battles and just missed getting his 2nd star. He'll make it here, assuming that he survives. He has 12-pound howitzers and a horse perk. Colquitt has taken command of this 12-pound howitzer battery, which has a horse perk. I gave Hurlbut the 2nd Division. Ewell has led 2 battles. His unit has an accuracy perk and Mississippi rifles. A.P. Hill now has Hurlbut's old unit. This unit has an accuracy perk and 61 Springfields. Pierce has a new Napoleon battery with a horse perk. Wheeler has a new ordnance rifle battery with an improved shells perk. Price has led 1 battle. He has a Pickett's perk with Lorenz rifles. Atkinson has the 3rd Division. Breckenridge has a new infantry brigade with accuracy perk and 55 Springfields. Stewart has led 3 battles. His unit has an accuracy perk with Cook and Brothers. Ferguson has led 7 battles. His unit has mounted infantry and carbine proficiency perks with 59 carbines. Crittenden has a new mounted scouts squadron with 59 carbines. Thomas has a new Pickett's unit with DN and Cs. McLean has the 4th Division. Early has led 4 battles. His unit has double accuracy perks with 61 Springfields. Archer has led 5 battles. His unit has a mounted infantry and carbine proficiency perk with 59 carbines. Cabell and Bragg have double rifled gun perks with ordnance rifles. Cabell has 7 battles led and Bragg has 2. Elder has led 6 battles. His unit has a horse and counter battery perks with Napoleons. I'm taking 15,000 in supplies for the ordnance rifles. Johnston has the 2nd Corps. He has a Tier 1 accuracy perk and a Tier 2 melee perk. Kershaw has the 1st Division. All 5 units have a melee perk with 42 Springfields. Walsh and Random are new commanders. Naylor, Breth, and Buckley have all led one battle. Bruin has the 2nd Division. My Avatar, Preston, Kemper, and Hobson all have Tier 1 accuracy with Tier 2 melee perks. My Avatar has led 8 battles and has 53 Enfields. Preston has led 5 battles and has Harper's Ferries. Siegfried has led 10 battles. His unit has double melee perks with 53 Enfields. Kemper has led 10 battles and he has MJ&Gs. Hobson has led 5 battles and he has Mississippi Rifles. McLaws has the 3rd Division. Myers has led 8 battles. His unit has double melee perks with Colts. Forrest has led 2 battles. His unit has a melee perk and shotguns. Sanders, Morgan, and Crocker have all taken over a command of the light infantry units that were previously led by majors. They have 55 Springfields. French has the 4th Division. Seams is a new brigade with an accuracy perk and 42 Springfields. Armstrong has led 1 battle. His unit has a Pickett's perk with 55 Springfields. Early is a new light infantry unit with 55 Springfields. Maxwell is a new commander of this Pickett's unit and has 55 Springfields. The AIC received a core reinforcement of 19,200 troops. The AI Army is 9% over the default size. Training is 38 to 43%, and weapons quality is 35 to 40%. Fortunately, deployments at Malvern are pretty easy. The first attack wave appears at the start of Phase 1 from the direction of the left red arrow. The second attack wave appears at the start of Phase 2 from the direction of the right red arrow. Each of the first 2 phases lasts about an hour. Reinforcements all arrive at the start of Phase 3. Any brigades in the left slot come in from the right, and those from the right slot come in from the left arrow. In testing, each reserve corps slot was limited to 11 units, so to deploy 20 reserves would require 4 corps with 10 brigades each in the reserve slots. Phase 3 lasts about 4 hours. There's no extra time, but you don't need to hold through the contested timers either. The AI will have 52,739 soldiers and 164 guns before unit splits. I will have 38,185 and 98 guns. Breaking it down further, the AI will have 15 infantry units, 3 dedicated skirmishers, 11 artillery batteries, and 1 cavalry squadron for a total of 30 units. Assuming 20% unit splits, we should expect it to get 6 additional units for a total of 36. My strategy will focus on the far right fortification. I will use rifled guns to soften it up, along with a sniper firing into it. When the right flank attack starts, I will take the East Malvern Hill VP and then immediately push north to clear out the AI artillery and take over the wooded area on the right. I will send a few infantry brigades to charge the fortification and then flank from right to left until I take the North Malvern VP. If there is an easy opportunity to capture the West Malvern Hill VP, I will, but it isn't necessary to achieve victory. When playing Major General difficulty, the AI is never more than 4,000 to 5,000 over my army size. Even when I open up my old 1.28.4 mod version files in version 1.29, they still show about 4 to 5K difference. While checking scaling on Legendary, the AI always has 12 to 15,000 more soldiers than me, no matter what I do to try to manipulate the scaling in camp. The only thing going in my favor is that my gun batteries are small enough that the AI never added any guns, no matter how many batteries I added. However, I know that if you're using large batteries, say 14 guns or larger, you can cause the AI to bring significantly more guns. So this is not the battle to suddenly crank up your battery sizes. 5 of the units in the 1st Corps will be going with the 2nd Corps to the right flanking movement. My ordnance rifles will be positioned to start shelling from the far right fortification and any units that come to engage. I'm primarily waiting for the Second Corps to arrive. One melee brigade will come over to help defend First Corps. My cavalry will eventually head down the left flank and come in from the southwest to link up with the Second Corps. My biggest concern at the start of Phase 3 is identifying the AI cavalry's location. It will come in from the southwest and it will usually come up to attack the artillery, but it can go anywhere. Until I know the location, my melee cavalry will stay close to the artillery, and my carbine cavalry will wait to move south. My flanking force will take the East Malvern Hill VP and then focus on coming north to flank from right to left over to the North Malvern VP. I had 2,273 killed, 7,069 wounded, and 1,010 missing, which is just under 28% of my total force. The AI lost 35,604 men, which is just over 69% of its deployed forces. Jeb Stuart was killed. Kershaw made it to general. I had a nice haul of Burnside carbines, mostly 61 Springfields here. There were some ordnance rifles and 24-pound howitzers. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time watching today. I hope you found something useful for your campaigns, and I wish you much success, generals.